Alright, today I'm doing something a little different. I'm actually going to be replacing something in my house today. This is a new garage door opener. Just got it at Lowe's. It was reasonably priced. Now, this new one, or this old one here, actually still works, but for the cost of some of the replacement parts I'm going to need to get, I opted just to replace the whole thing. So I'm going to take you through how this is going to work. I've never put one of these up before, so this will be an experience for me. And I figured I'd tag you guys along. So let's start with what we need to do first. Alright, so first thing it's telling me to do is to assemble the rail and trolley. So the rails are these, and then this guy and this guy. Not that guy just yet. Actually, this is the assembly. These two go together. And this will be the emergency release. So let's cut these off. One of these things is not like the other. Okay, so this one right here is the front rail section. It's got a large hole here, and the other one's simply just attached to it this way. Let me make sure I'm doing it right. Okay, there's one. Trying to make sure these go in the same orientation. So the rails put together. Alright. Need to come back to the front side. If I'm not mistaken, this side, which has that large hole, this will be facing towards the front of the garage door, so out towards the street, I would say. In that case, it's going to go in like this. So if there's this rubber piece on the side, I'll just slide it in. Just stay together. Slide it that way. Then it's showing here they are putting each over there. And then this is actually where the idler pulley will be. Okay. Now this piece is for the motor mount, and that goes on the other side. Simply goes in like so. Next step is to mount the rail to the actual motor. So there's actually two bolts here already pre-installed. You want to remove these because this is what's going to hold the roller or the rail in place. It also makes a huge note not to use power tools on this. I can only assume that's because you might strip the threads, because there aren't many threads on here to begin with. So, okay, so we can take it, line it up with the bolt holes. And then reinsert those bolts back into the holes and tighten them up. Okay, the other thing is there is a small nut or another bolt right here. It's very small. Stick it right there. It's actually supposed to be a stop. And then this nut. This stuff we're going to start installing the belt. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off the tape here. And actually leave it bunched up like this. With this end, this is actually the outer end facing outwards. This piece is going to roll in here, and then they're going to put the pulley in. If you put the pulley in first, you won't be able to get that through. So let's now take the tape off of said pulley. There is grease in here, so I would leave it. You're going to need the grease. Take this bolt and then put it through the top once you've inserted the pulley. And you're going to have to find the hole underneath. There we go, so it's gone through. Now you've got a washer and a nut. Washer goes first, and the nut goes second underneath. I'm just going to hand tighten this for now. Now this piece actually hooks right here on the trolley, so I'm going to go ahead and just hook it there. Probably don't need to just yet. So let me tighten this down. Top one is a 5/8. The bottom is a 9/16. Don't have to tighten it down too much. I'm just going to tighten it down enough to make it snug. This wheel still needs to turn. So that's on there. Okay, after you get all that taken care of, you're going to want a flathead screwdriver. You'll notice this notch here. This actually needs to be flipped up. So hopefully, yeah, use a flathead screwdriver. It needs to be a good 90 degree. So pick that up like that. There we go. That's secure. Move on to actually putting the belt in place. When you do this, make sure the teeth are facing inward, because that's actually what's going to grab onto the gear. So let's just start unraveling it. Trying to keep everything. Messed up. Nope. There we go. Go ahead and take that cardboard off. We'll wrap it around. Okay, so now that I've got the belt wrapped around, we're going to install this. Actually, it looks like it just threads in here. If I can get it to actually line up. There we go. Okay, so it lines up. There's actually, it's actually, I didn't notice this before. The bolt is slotted on one side. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's slotted on one side, and on the outer edge of the hole, it is flattened. So make sure that is pointing outward when you install it. Then you've got your bolt, or your nut, sorry. Just thread that on for now, you don't have to be perfect. Now take the belt, then you've got three little pieces here, kind of like a bicycle chain. One's got two posts. I'm going to actually put these on the outside, so stick it through the first hole on the tensioner. I think that's what this is called. Now you've got two of those posts installed. Take the flat one, place it on the outside, and then you've got your retaining piece here. And simply just, you actually put it through one, and there's two slots on those posts. That all you have to do is line those up, and then it'll slide into place. If I can get it to do it here. There it goes. Alright, and that'll stay in place there. All right, on to the next step. Okay, so I'm gonna have to take down this old one first, so I have to unbolt it from the mounting bracket that's here in the front, and then there's a couple bolts holding it to this this system here that's holding it on place on the ceiling. So let me take care of that real quick, and then we can try to start mounting this this new one. Okay, so this is where the header bracket was attached to for the old one. It was actually sitting like this. Now, there are two holes on this other one. I'm going to see if they actually line up. I might get lucky here. And I do not. Looks like one of them will, one of them will not. But that actually may work in my favor because the old bracket was centered so that the actual rail mount holes were situated pretty much dead center, or just a little bit under. So it's like they're right in line here. So if I set this up here, I'm looking at it, I may have to cinch it down just a little bit and then remount my holes, but I might be able to get away with it just being mounted like this. So let me do that and we'll move on to the next step. That's not going anywhere. All right, so now we're gonna install we're actually just gonna hook it up to the bracket here, and we're gonna lay the actual motor on this smaller step stool. So let's get that done. keys, or the retainer, the other retainers. Just get it set it in place. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to use the current mounting that I've got from the previous opener, so let's go ahead and just mount this guy. There's the second side. And then tighten those down. I'm just going to hand tighten it for now. It's very, very tight. Okay, so now we're going to install the arms. Now the first one is this long one, long straight, but it's the curved one here. And that attaches, you'll notice there's holes on one side, there's a single hole. That fits in the center of the trolley. So let's install that here if we can find it. There we go. Place that retainer in place. So that one doesn't move. Now, it says here in your instructions to use this bracket. Now, as you can see, there's already a steel piece of looks like some sort of bar with holes in it. Can't remember the name of these things, but this is what was originally used on mine. And right here is where the old connection point was. Now, I might be able to get away with using it on this one. Let's give it a shot here real quick. What I'm planning on doing is it sat on this end here, and hopefully it'll attach pretty much like this. I'm trying to see if I can line up those holes. I might be able to make them just a little bit so those holes will line up. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get this as straight as possible to line up those holes. It looks like I can, so let's put this in place for now. And then it gives you, set this back down. Now I've also noticed that this retainer has a lot of play in it. I may just use a bolt there a little later, but for now, follow the instructions. Okay, so the first one, let's get it straight up again. There's one. There's two. Wash on this side. Oops, I lost the washer. Okay. I'm actually not liking how loose this is, so I'm going to reuse the bolt because this is actually what was holding in the old one in originally. Okay. Now I've tightened that down, I'm going to back it off just a little bit so there's a bit of play. Yeah, so that should work. Next thing you want to do is mount your button here. So Lucky for me, the previously installed unit, these are perfectly spaced, so I can reuse the screw holes and also the inserts. So as you can see, this one, all you have to do is just insert it into the bottom one, push it down, and then you'll just have to get your screws and everything, your holes drilled so this will fit snugly in. Install the other screw. You can use the old or the new if you're replacing like me, or if you're installing a new one, make sure you use the correct hardware that comes with it. I'm just going to screw this down. And also make sure your wire is connected. There is a, actually let me pull this back off again so I can show you. There's a red and a white screw on the back here. I've already pre-wired them. So white one, red. You'll notice on the wire, there's a red strip on one, and then the white one is obviously a white. So line it up with wherever you need the wire to come out of, and then just attach it to your wall. All right, there we are. Let's move on to the wiring. Okay, so we're going to install the wires to the controller that you just mounted near your door. Now you've got your red wire and your white wire. Those will correspond to here and here. Actually, I'm going to mount this how it's supposed to. So let's straighten out the wire. Place it into the mounting slot. Or maybe not. Let's hold off on that then. So now you've got these little holders you just push in with a flathead screwdriver. So stick it all the way in as far as you can. There's the first one. Take the second one, push down on that one, insert that one as far as you can push it. On both, so get that as far away as I can. Alright, those aren't going anywhere. So now you've got that wired up. Currently I've just got the cords hanging. I'll mount those on the ceiling later. Just trying to get this wired up so I can test the door. So let's move on to the sensors. Okay, I'm going to mount this bracket here. Now I've noticed, well, there's a couple ways you can mount it. First, what I'm going to try here is mount it right to the rail. The other one is you can mount it back. Now, I've noticed on this particular bracket, it's going to be too far back. So what you may have to do is actually get a block to pull it up just a little bit more so the sensor can actually fit right inside the bracket and actually be useful. So let me try to force this on here. It's gonna sit, whoops, basically like that. I'm just gonna sit right on here, at least how mine is gonna mount. So that is sitting just under the 6 inches. So I am okay there. Let's go ahead and mount one of these. I don't think it matters which one goes where, as long as you hook them up correctly up top. But there's one. I think this right here is the actual light sender. Because actually, what does it show here? This one, I'm assuming this one right here is the one that will send the light. There's another one here. You can kind of tell one's got a lens, the other one looks like it's just a capture, maybe just a camera that captures that light beam, and it doesn't really matter. So there's a one with a green, one with a amber or a yellow light. I'm going to attach the one with the green light first, so let's not break it. So how these work, let me get those those two, they call them carriage bolts, and you also need the wing nut. Your bolt will insert into the back of this sensor. Take care not to touch the sensor like I just did. Now, that goes on the inside here. Take your wing nut and screw on like so. So now you've got one installed. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Try to make sure that it is about the same distance up. So I'm going to re-measure this. Make sure I've got it set right. So it looks like just under 6. Be 5 3/4. That's what I'm going to shoot for the next one. All right, let's do this again on the other side. So looks like about right. Ballparking it, looks like right about there. Okay. That looks pretty darn close. Sensor number 2 is in place. Now we just need to run the wires. Okay, so we're going to attach the wires. As you can see, got them kind of wrapped around each other. Hopefully this will work. I'm going to have to put the camera in my mouth so I can do this. So I'm just showing you where they go. So this is the white. So these whoops. This set right here is the whites. This set right here is the blacks. They will correspond with these two here where my finger is. So let's do that. Alright, one. Alright, there's 2. Both of those are in, I think. Let's make sure this one's in there right. Nope, that one's not in. So let's try to get this one in secure. Alright, all the wires are in. So, and actually what I did is I snaked the wires through the channel in the rail. Now I'm not sure how good of an idea that is, but I only had a couple feet left, and with this setup I would have had to have gone up and all the way along here and then back down. I don't think I had enough room to do that. So now it's on to the next step. I think that is actually tensioning this. So let me take a look at that and I will get back. Just realized I made a mistake. That little spring part that holds the belt on, I was supposed to take this apart. So spring in one hand and rod in the other. This was supposed to thread through first. This spring though, important that this piece with the silver part faces towards the motor, because this is actually going to release the spring later. So we're going to spin this on. And before we go any further, we need to, again, attach this back on here. So let me go back, let me thread this back so I can actually have enough room to do so. So I'm going to have to get these two very close together. So put this guy on. Note to self, make sure you read all the instructions like I keep saying, because then you won't get into problems like this. clip. Just go overlap this back one. There's those slots on the side. Make sure they attach. There we go. Now it's in place. Okay, once this is back on, it says finger tighten, so do not use any tools. Ow. I'm just going to keep tightening this until I can't tighten it anymore. Okay, I'd say that's as tight as I can get it. Now, I've got to take a wrench, hold this in place. Now the silver screen or sleeve here, it's got to be pushed so that it'll engage the spring. Alright, spring is engaged. Alright, so now I've got everything hooked up to power. We're going to adjust the travel. So I believe this is how let's see if I can do it here. So it says press this button, so it'll blink once, or start blinking, so we're gonna start the adjustment for the going up. So, get it moving. I think that should work for now. Now we press, I believe it's this button here. Okay, so now we go to the down, and we're going to adjust the down motion now. There we go. Then press this button. Now we're going to press this up. This is basically going to test the programming. Okay, do the one more time with the down button. And that is how you program your button, or at least program the travel for it. And I think that's pretty much it. Now all you have to do is program the controllers, finish up your wiring. I still need to do that. I think that should be it. Let me see what this next page. I've kind of been going step by step here. If I can get this darn thing up. Yeah, so all it is now programming your buttons. So hopefully this was helpful. I mean, this, like I said, this is the first time I've ever done it, so this should give maybe an amateur's look on installing a brand new garage door opener.